Blessings and good morning to you guys, at least on the East Coast. It is about 9 o'clock in the morning here on Monday. In my parts of the woods, I'm not sure where you're watching from, but wherever it is, I hope that you're having an amazing day. Definitely felt like connecting. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired. I moved offices yesterday. And I gotta tell you, every muscle in my body is speaking to me. The new office is located on a loft, and it has 20 steps to reach the landing. And I definitely got my fill of exercise yesterday. A reminder that I'm not doing enough. But anyway, it was really emotional, but very fulfilling as well. And I felt like I wanted to talk a little bit about that and do a little sharing. I've actually moved offices. This is my 12th office. I hope that that number has a representation of the 12, the 12 pyramids, the 12 portals. But it has definitely been a journey, moving from office to office to office to office. And I have found myself many times asking myself if this is something that I need to continue to do. And each time I find myself at that threshold, I realize that it is something that I need to do, and I'm not really sure what the messages are about why I have to move locations, and maybe that's the message itself. Maybe I have to be in certain locales. I'm not sure. But what I do end up with is that I do need the office. I need this space, home, for so many who have been coming to me for 20 plus years, and those who come in new. So I found myself, just thinking about the exasperation, the frustration, the doubts, the questions that come when we continually find ourselves, repeating something. And most of the time, it's a real big red flag. It could be to say, maybe this has to be a change with this. I don't want to, of course, make the exception to the rule, like my excuse. But I found it interesting that this is an instance where I find that, it just has to be. And it's not necessarily that I shouldn't be doing it. It's just I have to be newness. I loved it that I moved yesterday in the cusp of the Cyrus sun being so very close to us, portals, new beginnings. Were like the influx of all this incredible cosmic energy is propelling us in so many different ways that we basically have no time to take our breath. So a simulation of those energies is very important. Grounding and action, by the way, which again made me happy in the fact that I had to do something physical action, physical work, physical movement, because I know I've said this before, but when we have all these cosmic energies, which is wonderful, they're helping us to create a platform for a higher consciousness. We have to assimilate it, and we have to ground it. And we can't stay up here all the time, because it's unproductive if we do. We're not being an embodiment, and we're not utilizing the energy then in the earth realm, which is where we create experience, right? So I was happy that we moved yesterday, and I love this space. I love this space because it's again on a loft, and I've had a couple of spaces that way, in similar space, and every time that I've had an elevated space, it's brought me right back to ancient Egypt, to the mystery teachings. And so I'm sort of excited that we're taking that, turn again into perhaps something that needs to be assimilated over the period of time that I find myself in this space, hopefully for a long time, but connected to the mystery teachings. Speaking of which, thank you for so many of you who have contacted me personally via messenger or emails to ask about the Emerald Paradigm and Loon and I am very sorry that we sort of left you hanging. It wasn't intended purposefully, it wasn't purposefully. I can't talk today, so you're gonna have to bear with me, right? It just kind of happened. We went to Costa Rica for that beautiful retreat, and Loon announced that she had these amazing changes coming about, and I knew that that would in turn trigger me to make these moves. As you know, we were sharing an office, and it hasn't really stopped. She's very busy as well, and she's got some amazing things going on, and we've barely seen each other since we got back from Costa Rica for more than a few minutes. Now, of course, not sharing the office, I'm not really sure. I'm almost afraid to ask about the Emerald Paradigm because she is so very busy. But I do want to say that I'm sorry we just kind of stopped. You never know, right? But thank you so much for supporting the work that we did together in the Emerald Paradigm. And of course, we individually continue to teach those teachings. I know that Loon does, and of course, that is primarily what I love. I wear so many different hats, but the mystery teachings, the Emerald Paradigm, which was looking at subjects at the exploration of evolution, the spiritual evolution, from both a cosmic and earthly realm, and we did complement each other so well in that. So thank you for asking. And I don't know the answer, but of course, as soon as I do or have a chance to catch up with Loon, I will definitely pass that on. I also woke up this morning thinking and feeling personally how people come and go out of our lives. And I know that this is something that we all experience, and I'm not necessarily talking about partners. I'm talking about people that we care about, that we love, that we connect with, almost like soulmates, people that that we create and develop a very deep connection with, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but it could be harnessed for a very long time, that relationship, and then suddenly it starts to disintegrate or to just fall apart. I've had a lot of that happen in my life, especially since I am a guru. I teach, and I humbly but boldly declare myself as a guru only in that I do teach, and I hold a foundation, a bold but a humble foundation to the fact that we all have teachers, but when we have a calling to teach, we should step into that role. We're gonna learn a lot too, so but yes, I've had that happen to me a lot of times, especially with beloveds. I call them beloveds, beloved students who have come into my life, and very deep relationships, and then they have, they've fallen apart or they've separated, and the emotional pain, the heart pain actually that causes. But this morning I woke up and I said, I feel like I need to share this because we just came out of the expo. It was so truly amazing. There was so many beautiful light workers on the floor. And there was this particular earth angel who really spoke to me. She contacted me at the 11th hour to tell me that she was inspired to come all the way from Virginia Beach. And that actually triggered me to remember something that this amazing being of light said to me about 15-20 years ago, when he showed up to guide me and the mission that was evolving in my life with all the students back then. He came into my life and taught me many things and revealed many things. And one of the things he said to me and to the beloved at the time was, many will come. And at the time he was actually stressing to my students that I needed support and help, because many would come. And fast forward, you know what, many have come. And I really see that at the expos. You know, I see it in my practice, I see it in my workshops, I see it in many ways, in many places, but I definitely see it on the expo floor. The support, the calling for so many who come from so many different places. And so when you step up and when you step into your mission's calling, don't focus too much on those that are coming and going, even though, yes, people who come and go leave a lasting memory, mark, scar perhaps. But when you're on purpose, you need to remember that those who signed up a contract to find you and to collaborate and to unify and to, you know, support are always going to keep showing up as long as you show up, right? And so I was really inspired to share that today, because it's a great message. You know, as long as you show up, people or those souls who need to connect with you, collaborate again, or do whatever it is, are going to keep showing up. So I hope that speaks to you guys in some way, and it's a comfort, especially when we're sort of like hurting over the fact that some have stepped away, right? Yeah. So anyway, I am sitting with 2 oracle decks this morning, and by the way, of course, this is not all I do. It's one of the ways which I like to connect, and of course to hopefully give a little gift of a message, a validation. For you guys know I do so much more than this, and this is like almost like a little bit of playtime for me when we do the oracle. But anyway, I'm sitting this morning with the Angels of Atlantis, and I felt inspired to pick that deck to pull one card, because we're under such an influx of cosmic energy. A time for a simulation, really, for upgrades, for taking the time to allow those upgrades to anchor themselves. We're in retrograde as well. I don't give too much power to that. Not to say that, of course, the planets are moving in another direction. What I mean about not giving too much power is to the fact that our lives have to necessarily flip upside down because the planets are going in retrograde. You know what, you could be the observer, and yeah, there may be little glitches, but if you give it a lot of power, then it's really going to affect you. So that's my take on the retrograde. So one card out of the Angels of Atlantis, very cosmic deck, and I never felt like we all could use a cosmic message. And this is Zafriel. I can't pronounce them very well, but it's the romance card. Surprise, surprise. And I say surprise because I was really feeling like I needed to pull a cosmic card, and romance somewhat could be a physical experience, right? Of course, we could be in romance with ourselves, with life, with the experience of life, with presence existing. And so, because it is a cosmic deck, I'm going to throw that out there. I feel unity here. I do feel I feel joy in the cards. So I am feeling, of course, the exchange of physical romance. I was talking about relationships earlier. Unification, coming together, intimacy, in deep friendships and or relationships. Being understood, I'm hearing, perhaps in a partnership or meeting someone who finally gets you. That's really romantic, right? So, yeah, romance. Let's see how the Psychic Tarot deck matches that, if at all, My favorite deck, you know that, right? I am starting an apprenticeship. The 5th apprenticeship, I guess over the last year. It starts July 18th here in Staten Island. I know that so many of you have inquired in the past about offerings distantly. Still haven't figured that out, but if you happen to be in the tri-state area, it's going to be 4 consecutive Thursday evenings beginning July 18th. And there's still room since we have a new office now. And so if you're inspired, I will put I'll put a link in the description area of the video. And you can read more about what these transformative shamanic apprenticeships have done and what they offer to so many beloveds. Okay, I'm feeling ready. Let's go. Heart chakra. Sort of like the romance in the Angels of Atlantis card. Feeling warmth here, allowing your heart to open. I am feeling romance here, falling again in love deeper with yourself, being gentle with yourself. I want to say almost a new liking to you, seeing yourself in a different light, and also allowing the energy of love, of romance, of courtship, of the potential of the experience of this, of knowing that it's possible. Suddenly when I said that, I feel like I'm talking to many, so I'd love to hear if this is something that you have been harnessing, hoping for. Definitely feel love in the air here. It was in reverse, so I'm going to show it upright first. Obstacles and challenges being removed. Isn't that wonderful? In reverse. Take an exhale. You've been through a lot. I could sort of resonate with this. The move, the packing, the decision to whether I should do it or not, and being able to exhale, especially last night, and seeing the office all prettied up, the new office, and saying like, wow, we did it, knowing that obstacles are just leading you where you need to be, somewhere more elevated, deeper into your purpose. Don't be afraid to walk in there. Don't be afraid of what seems to be challenges. Allow yourself, to trust in the process. Yeah, fear and despair, conflict and despair, I'm sorry. Don't allow yourself to fall apart. I know it's been hard. Some of us have been trying very hard to get to that next place. It's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes we're tired. keep going is what I could say. Keep going. You have a lot of angelic support. Know that what's driving you is something deeper than you. A lot of guides. You have us, you know, who come out here to encourage you, to support you, to inspire you, to remind you, don't give up, okay? And I can't leave it there because it's patience and planning, and there we could leave it. You know, have patience with yourself if things have not fully manifested the way you want them to, the way you think they should. Have patience. Keep planning. Keep visualizing your dream. You know, this is real stuff, even though sometimes it sounds like it's not. Have the visualization. I have to keep going back to my office because I love to be the example. You know, I didn't know whether I don't know, you know what, it's my 12th office, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this. And if I tell you that the office that I have now, literally the ad for it fell in my lap. I wasn't looking for it. I woke up one morning, something told me to go to Craigslist or somewhere, and there it was, you know. And as soon as I saw the location, because it's located across the street from a very spiritual place here on the island, I started the visualization. I started to connect with the energy, and I started to allow that energy to speak to me, to see if it was in resonation. And once it felt that it was, I just created a bridge between that feeling and the process. And you know, a lot of times that's what we need to do. We need to almost cling to something that's speaking to us energetically and let that be the bridge to get us to that place. A lot of trust, you know, a lot of faith, a lot of inner work, a lot of intentions, a lot of visualization, and a lot of support, you know, to get you to that manifestation where it becomes tangible. But for me, that's definitely one of the primary ways in which I create, is by allowing that feeling to speak to me. And once it does, we lock in. And it's an invisible bridge, but it becomes tangible. I hope that that speaks to you guys, because that has a lot of power. Yes? So we smelled love in the air, both in the angelic angel cards, romance, and also in the psychoteric deck, talking about opening the heart, allowing the energy of discovery, of falling in love, of being together, of feeling that energy. We had the obstacle card in reverse, reminding that obstacles are over, that you've succeeded in walking through a lot of difficulty. Don't give in to the fear. Don't give up at the 11th hour. You know, you're there already. Keep going. Be patient with yourself and keep planning. Yes? I hope that those cards spoke to you. And you know, we have again a lot of energy. It doesn't stop. You know, we're just going into retrograde now, and it sort of seems like a little exhale, right? But the Lion's Gate is basically around the corner. It starts to open in the 3rd week of July. And so make sure that you replenish during the next week or so. Lots of fluids, a lot of anchoring, doing fun things, and bringing some play into your experience, because by the 3rd week of July we're going to get really intense again. Very cosmic energies, and the need to slow down really and to anchor those energies is very important. Yes? Look at these beautiful, I think they're rose quartz. I'm not the best with stones, but this beautiful presenter that I was speaking of earlier from Virginia Beach actually gave me these. Aren't they beautiful? She was just an amazing fairy. So I just kind of wanted to mention that. And I am actually burning a beautiful candle that one of our beautiful viewers here, Victoria, knowing my love for candles, sent me. Citrus basil. Oh my goodness, is what I've got to say. This smells delicious. If you want to know where they come from, I will put a mention in the description. Victoria, thank you so much for thinking of me and for sending me these beautiful candles. I am burning. I actually burned the Nang Champa that you sent me. It was off the charts, and I am burning citrus basil today. Oh my goodness, I love it. Anyway, you guys, would love to hear where you're at. Thank you for the comments, by the way, of the last video. I do have to answer them, but I'm so very happy that the videos speak to you. I saw a comment while I was moving yesterday of someone who was inspired to come out and do their own readings just on one of the videos that was uploaded. I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm so happy to show up here and to share and to know that in some way it's speaking to you, whether it's to encourage you, whether it's to go into a contemplative mode, whether it's to go into a place of action or to reach out. I love it, and I love to hear your comments about the share today. And I love you guys. I'll be back really soon. I am planning to do some videos from the new space now that I'm settled there and I'm by myself. There's no, traffic going in and out from my landlord or the street, which was very noisy. So I am going to be coming from the office, and I look forward to doing that and offering and sharing with you. Leave you with my love, with my light, and with my peace. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget that I love you guys. And my computer wasn't working, so I have to do this manually. Love you.